What's good, everyone? Hello, how are you? Welcome to another live recording of Bravo and Blaze with Jenny Blaze. We are in our second week of our 3-week live streaming series every weekday at 1 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch, with audio available wherever you get your podcasts. Last night was the season 9 premiere of Below Deck Med on Bravo, so we will discuss. Hold on, I'm trying to change this. There we go. I'm still getting used to live streaming again. It's been like a year since it was regular, habitual for me. So last night was the premiere of Below Deck Med. However, I also watched the series premiere of Deadly Influence, the social media murders on ID channel. And today, Joe Coy's latest stand-up comedy special is now available on Netflix, so we will get to that. If you are a podcast listener, you can see the visuals over here on YouTube. We also have an interactive chat that is only available on YouTube. Our channel is at Jenny Blaze. If you're watching us live on Twitter, Instagram, or Twitch, please consider joining us here on YouTube so you can be part of the chat as well. As a reminder, be cool. Don't be all like uncool. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. We are by no means here to use this podcast as an avenue to bully or attack anyone. We are simply here to express our opinions, trauma bond, maybe heal, make some friends, build a community, watch Bravo, maybe Blaze. It's not required, but you're welcome to. Also, make sure you subscribe, follow, share, like, comment, leave a 5-star rating, please. Also, make sure you are following us on social media at Bravo and Blaze. Don't forget to check out our interview with Peter Madrigal of Vanderpump Rules that made it into Rolling Stone's, Us Weekly, and People magazine. Peter is launching Reality Network, available at realitynetwork.tv this month. So I was thinking, should we get Peter back on the show to get an update? It's been a few months. Let me know if you'd like to hear from Peter again, and I'll see if I can coordinate something with him. Actually, maybe I should just go to LA myself in person to get a something about her sandwich, see Peter, and maybe, if possible, also catch up with Ann Maddox and Amanda Lifford of We Signed an NDA, who we also did an interview with this season. If you are a Vanderpump Rules fan, you may know that Ann Maddox is Tom Sandoval's former assistant and may or may not be working for Ariana right now. I actually just saw Ann on page 6 this morning, but I didn't have time to read the whole article. We will cover Vanderpump Rules updates on tomorrow's live stream when we discuss the Valley, which is on tonight. But make sure to go check out those interviews. The links are in the show notes. We also have bonus content available for Patreon and Instagram subscribers. The latest bonus review was on the Valley. The next planned review is on Summer House Martha's Vineyard, which I have a lot of mixed emotions about. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. Let's get started. I am going to start with Joe Coy. Joe Coy released his latest comedy special called In His Elements, released on Netflix today. It was filmed in Brooklyn back in November, and I think it was filmed the very next weekend after BravoCon back in November of 2023. I remember this because I wanted to go, but I was like still recovering from Vegas. So I didn't make it to that show. However, I did see Joe Coy live early last year, and I think I heard some of the same material that was in the special that I just watched this morning during the live performance that I watched. But regardless, if you ever have the opportunity to go see Joe Coy perform stand-up live in your town, I highly, highly recommend going because there's just a different energy that you get when you're there in person. On comedy specials, they have to edit and cut things out. During live performances, you get to see him play more off of the crowd, improvise, and connect with people in the crowd. And I see that we have Madeline. Hello again. Yes, more Peter, please. And Anne, she says. Love connecting. So when I saw Joe Coy, it was here in Albany, New York. And for anyone listening who doesn't know where that is, it is about 2.5 hours north of New York City. And believe it or not, Albany is the state capital of New York State. So we have a lot of government and state jobs in Albany. Plus, I would consider this kind of like a college town because there's quite a few around here. And don't get me wrong, this area can be beautiful and we can have really great weather every now and then. But when Joe Coy came to visit, it was in the winter and there's really not much to do around here. So when he performed live here, he was obviously joking about he's on this world tour and gets to travel to amazing places like London, Paris, Tokyo, Hawaii was next on his tour. But that it didn't even matter. He felt so lucky to be performing in Albany, New York, because there's nowhere better. Obviously, he's joking, but I felt it so hard because I seriously hate living here. He actually said that night, he goes, "You know, you don't have to live here." And I was dying, so I'm like, I wish. But I do have to live here for now. Anyways, I just love Joe Coy. He is my favorite comedian currently. And he wasn't always my favorite. Louis C.K. was actually my favorite at one point, and that whole thing went south. Whatever happened to him? Like, I think he got canceled after the Me Too movement. Anyways, I feel a bond with Joe Coy because he is also half Asian, half white, like I am. And I've watched his career grow from afar for decades. This man hustles. And for that alone, I have nothing but respect for him. But what's even better is that Joe just gets it. He is self-deprecating in a way that somehow turns you on and makes you attracted to him. Not in a physical way, because he is very clear about his, I don't want to say shortcomings, because he doesn't like allude to the size of his package or anything, and that's not what I'm talking about, but he was like talking bad about himself. He was talking about how he has sciatica, how he has no butt. He was talking about his a-hole, and that's not very like arousing, right? But he does, I don't know, it somehow makes himself attractive in like a sapiosexual kind of way. For those of you who may be wondering what a sapiosexual is, it is someone who finds intelligence sexually attractive or arousing. And I learned that from Alex on Summer House Martha's Vineyard in season 1. I remember because I was like, oh my God, I think I am that. I think I am a sapiosexual. But with Joe, the way he tells stories about his Filipino mother always have me screaming because she sounds very much like my Korean mother. The lack of filter, the brutal honesty, the borderline abusive parenting style. I mean, hearing Joe tell stories of his mother makes me appreciate my upbringing more, actually. It wasn't the picture perfect way to be raised by typical American standards, but it's led me to have an outlook on life that helps me to be unserious and also be able to laugh in almost any scenario. And when your mother is the biggest bully you know, it humbles you and strengthens your modesty unlike any way you can imagine. That's why I think I feel comfortable podcasting because it really doesn't matter what any troll has to say about me, because I'm sure I've heard way worse from my own mother, so bring it. I'm just kidding. Please don't be mean to me. Thank you. You're welcome. But definitely go check out Joe Coy's latest stand-up in his elements on Netflix as soon as you get a chance. I just love him. He's so funny. And there happened to be like a 12-year-old in the audience with his mother. And the last part of this whole special is just so good. Chef's kiss. Loved it. Moving on. Let's continue. Okay. As much as I am addicted to laughter and laughing, I also have an addiction to true crime. I am obsessed with looking at true crime as case studies to observe behaviors and red flags that will help me and others prevent ourselves from being put in those situations. It's very in line with why I also love reality TV as well. So, Deadly Influence. This is a new series on the ID channel, and I think it might be available on Max. I am not 100% sure. I'll have to double check. But the series description of this show is social media influencers seem to have it all. Money, celebrity, power. But in these shocking true crime stories, there is a horrifying dark side to the fame, which reveals how these online dreams can quickly become blood-soaked nightmares. I'm in. Sign me up. I want to watch this. I actually put a reminder on my calendar for when this show was going to start. I was like, I have to watch this. So episode 1 is called Sin City Clickbait. The description is an online sex guru gets consumed by the glitz, glamour, and excess of Vegas. This story is about Ash Armand. That's like his stage name. I had no idea who this person was. He apparently started as a model, and this owner of this company that has like a male escort service basically scouted Ash and asked him, like, would you want to work for my male escort service? And he did. And right there, I'm like, I had to pause. I'm like, wait a minute. Gigolos are real? I didn't think that was a real thing. I thought it was kind of like a joke. I know like sex work exists, but I didn't know it was for, and I assumed, I just didn't expect straight women to look for this service, I guess. I need to know from other people if they knew about this, if they've used this service or type of service before. If you're a man, a straight man, I'm assuming any straight man would do this for a living, right? Like this is, I'm like stuck on that concept alone, but we'll move on anyways. So once he starts becoming a gigolo, he does really well, apparently, and becomes like a micro influencer on social media. Because back then, social media had just started coming out. So he jumped on the bandwagon and it was working for him. And that led to them starting a reality show called Gigolos. And I may have heard about this show, but I never watched it. And I thought it was like, I thought it was fiction. I didn't know it was a reality show because I couldn't imagine that this is real. Yes, Liz, I need to go watch it too now. I have to go watch this. I think they even had like 6 seasons. I was so shocked when I watched this last night. So he turns into a reality star, quote unquote star. Who's a gigolo. He's got this like, quote unquote fame, whatever you want to call it, and starts dating this mega influencer who lives in Vegas, who has like, she's internationally known. She's got like almost more than 5 million followers. I don't know, whatever. When they were together, he was at his peak. He was making money. He created a brand around himself. He was Ash Armin. He was doing like sexual exercises on YouTube. Like he just really maxed out all the potential he had on social media, I think. And I think that's why he qualifies for this series. But they wind up breaking up because Ash winds up getting really jealous. And I need to know more about this relationship because I guess his girlfriend, this mega influencer, she had dated some of the other gigolos. I wonder if she's on the reality show. We need to go watch this show now. But I'm assuming she is sexually fluid then. Like she's okay with ethical non-monogamy or whatever they call it these days, like open relationships. And that ultimately, I'm assuming this because she dated multiple gigolos, and I'm guessing that she would do whatever she wanted, I guess, too. But Ash got extremely jealous and started threatening people that she was hanging out with, so she broke up with him. It was like, no, it's over. He tried to do everything to get her back. He started spiraling after the breakup. It all goes downhill in so many different ways. Spoiler alert, he winds up murdering someone. There are drugs involved. There's a broken heart involved. But the massive ego, I think, is really played a huge part in all of this. And it's really quite sad how things played out for him. But go watch that episode. Again, it's the series premiere of Deadly Influence, the social media murders on the ID channel on Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern. Gosh, I might have to binge Gigolos this weekend now. But let's move on. Speaking of influencers, let's move on to Below Deck Med, where the first charter guests of the season are influencers. I have no idea who they are, but the episode description, actually the episode title is My Big Fat Greek Yacht Emergency. The episode description is Captain Sandy embarks on a new charter season in Athens, Greece. She welcomes back familiar face Aisha Scott to serve as her chief steward. It's a homecoming until the provisions fail to arrive before the guests, and the yacht crew is forced to scramble. When the second stew struggles to wake the chef, the guests get an unexpected surprise. First off, I cannot stand Captain Sandy in this picture. Look at this picture. This is so embarrassing. It's Captain Sandy in the ocean with like a wave behind her holding, what are these called? Tritons? It's like, what is that? Whatever. I don't know. I hate this picture though. It sucks. Oh my gosh, Captain Sandy. Oh. All right, despite Captain Sandy, I love Aisha. Love her energy. Also, this is the first Below Deck in Greece, and I love Greece. I went, what year was that? Like 2008, no, 2009. I had kind of like a life-changing experience there because I've never seen a place that was so beautiful like that. And I just loved it so much. I had like an epiphany. I was having like a quarter-life crisis at this time. I got a tattoo. It's in Greek. So for that alone, I'm going to watch this season of Below Deck Med, even though I don't like Captain Sandy. But dude, what the fuck? What was up with the provisions? We've never seen anything like this. Can you imagine? I would be livid if I paid for a chartered private yacht and they don't have food or the drinks that I requested. I mean, it's a little wild. These kids, I want to say, they're so young. I mean, I don't know their exact ages, but they're influencers, I guess. And someone told me that one of them just was kicked off of a reality show having to do with MILFs. I don't know if that's true. I was like, what? I don't know who these people are. But good for them. They clearly are doing something right. But I just still could not believe that we saw Aisha talk to the person from Provisions at least a handful of times. And every time they're like, oh yeah, you know what, we're going to send something in the meantime because we messed up or whatever. And then next thing you know, they keep messing up every single time. Provisions came like how many times? 3, 4 times? And still did not have the things that they needed. It was insane. They cannot use that provisioner ever again. I feel bad for that company. Like, that's like your one job. That is what you're getting paid for, is to get provisions. What is the problem? I hope it's not like this everywhere in Greece. Let's not go down that road. But our crew, we have Captain Sandy, we have Aisha Scott as the chief stew. Our chef is Jonathan Shillingford. The bosun is Ian McLean. We have a decky named Joe Bradley. I love that. We know a Joe Bradley on Southern Hospitality. So we have 2 now. Another decky is Nathan Gallagher. We have a female, Gail Cameron, who has a boyfriend, but it looks like there may be a little bit of a boatmance with Gail and somebody else. I don't know. We'll have to see. Our stews are Elena Dubike. I don't know how to say her last name, but she was on another season and she had I don't recall if she was that great or not, but I like her energy for this season so far. I'm just a little worried for her because already the first episode, it ends, well, I don't want to give any spoilers, but I feel stressed out for her. And I feel stressed out for Bree Muller, the other stew, who is having a difficult time with the laundry. It's so embarrassing. Like, they have no provisions. They can't get laundry right, to the point where the guests are asking to go into the laundry room to, like, find their own clothes. And I would be mortified. It's so bad. It's really bad. And then also, I think it was a bosun. He said his father was a professional canoeist. And I don't know why, but I was hung up on this last night. I'm like, I've never heard of a professional canoeist. What does a professional canoeist do? Are there professional canoe races? Are there like canoe schools? It feels like saying I'm like a professional, I don't know, like professional, what are those things called? Segway rider? I don't know. I mean, you do have to work on a canoe. You have to paddle and stuff, or row. I don't know why I got hung up on that, but I think it's time to go. Oh, reality with Krista Marie. I have not watched this, but I'm excited for it. She's got to go. What are we talking about, Captain Sandy? She's got to go. She literally lost me since she fired Hannah, that whole situation. Yeah, I'm still bitter from that. And I also interviewed Hannah on this podcast. Was it last year? It might have been a year or 2 ago. But I love Hannah. And I'm still mad about the whole CBD pen, Malia, you snitch, Captain Sandy. However, I do like when things go wrong for Captain Sandy. I do find enjoyment from that. I have to watch because what else is on? Help, Jenny. Krista, you missed it. I talked about Joe Coy's comedy special on Netflix and also Deadly Influence, the social media murders on ID channel. Check it out. Madeline. It's a trident, the symbol of Neptune, and probably a little more than she can handle. Liz, I watch when there's nothing else to watch, really. She lost me at the Hannah, too. Yeah. Captain Sandy. I saw her in person at BravoCon, and every time I kept running into her. It was like too much, and every time I just like would have a actual like physical reaction, and I felt bad because I'm like, I don't like this woman, but I like don't really have a good reason because she didn't do anything to me, so I just need to get away. It's kind of like Tom Sandoval-ish, but I actually feel like things are more personal with Tom Sandoval. All right, it's time to get going. I want to thank you all for being here, and I want to remind you all to subscribe, follow, share, like, leave a comment, and 5-star rating for Bravo and Blaze on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to follow on social media at Bravo and Blaze. We will be here again tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern to review. What are we reviewing tomorrow? The Valley, and we're going to do Vanderpump Rules updates because Joe went live. There's updates on the lawsuit, the house situation between Ariana and Tom, Lala, Prison Mike. Oh, there's even a content creator feud. I won't name any names, but that was entertaining me a little bit last night. Until tomorrow, stay lit, y'all. I love you.